Now at 10, the tragic loss of a child. We'll have the latest on the investigation into the deadly shooting of a 10-year-old girl. And Harrisburg community meeting. What concerns residents voiced? Those details as your news at 10 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Hello everyone, I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with the tragic death of a child, a 10-year-old girl killed after a late-night shooting in Aiken County. Isabella Moody has the story.
Brandy Turner has been living in the neighborhood since 2001 and says nothing like this has ever happened.
It's shocking because it could have been anybody. I mean, all of us out here got kids, so it could have been any one of us. It could have been my kids. Like, we all were in the bed, so bullet ain't got nobody's name on it.
Turner's daughter goes to school with Lavinia Lowe. She says her kids woke her up when they saw the ambulances and police cars.
Ain't no telling who it was, who they were looking for, if they coming back.
Even though Turner was already planning to move from the neighborhood, this has only motivated her.
Well, it really don't matter. Anywhere you go ain't safe, but for this neighborhood to be as small as it is.
A statement from Sheriff Martin Sawyer with the Aiken County Sheriff's Office said, "Any murder is unacceptable, but the murder of an innocent child is the most depraved act possible. And these families and this community should not have to endure acts like this." The Aiken County Sheriff's Office has all its resources focused on this murder and the murder that occurred over the weekend. I have requested help from other local agencies, state agencies, and federal agencies to assist us with these two cases.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office reports a motorcyclist was taken to the hospital after crashing. The accident happened a little after 5 o'clock this afternoon on the westbound Bobby Jones ramp going onto I-20. The driver hit a concrete wall and sustained serious injuries. The old Vaucluse Road Bridge over I-20 in Aiken County will take a year to complete. That's according to the South Carolina Department of Transportation. The overpass was destroyed nearly 2 weeks ago in a fiery tanker truck crash. Last week, Governor Henry McMaster issued an executive order to speed up the replacement process. It's expected to be finished next summer. Many of you in the area, and even as far away as Columbia, reported seeing a fireball streak across the sky today. News Channel 6 received numerous calls and messages regarding the sighting. This is video captured on a Tesla dash cam by Brian Jennings Updike. The National Weather Service says it was most likely a meteorite. It is time now for a first look at the forecast. Here's our chief meteorologist, Jenna Petracci.
Well, if you missed the meteorite today, you may have a chance at seeing some shooting stars tomorrow, either after dawn or before dawn or after sunset. You have a pretty good chance of seeing that with the booted meteor shower. It peaks tomorrow, and the good news is that we will have a 9% lit crescent moon, so there won't be a lot of moonlight to distract from those shooting stars. So something to keep in mind if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Now, we had some storms lighting up our sky late last night. I'm sure you remember that very well. It was pouring this time last night at the station. Now it's completely quiet, but those storms did knock some trees down around Aiken County, Burke County, and down towards Screven. You can see here on Live Viper 6, it's completely dry, but we do have some storms down near Albany and Valdosta. Other than that, the two-state looks good. Now, taking a look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam in Waynesboro, very quiet today and no rain reported at Augusta Busch Field. Nice change of pace from the last few days where we've had the storms and the major heat. We're back to typical summertime weather with a low of 69 and a high of 94. Around the CSRA, we're in the upper 70s through lower 80s. Augusta and Aiken both at 79, 81 in Wrightsville, and 85 in Lincolnton. The heat index is still very high, feeling like 90 in some spots, and tomorrow morning will be warm and muggy. Coming up, I'll have a look at your forecast into the weekend, so stay with us. But back to you, Jenny.
All right, thank you, Jenna. It is Lightning Safety Week, and fire crews across the upstate are sounding the alarm. This comes after 15 people were taken to the hospital Tuesday night following a lightning strike at Lake Murray in Lexington County, South Carolina. That's near Columbia. One fire chief says summer is the time to remain vigilant for pop-up thunderstorms. That's advice one boater on Lake Bowen had to take when storms forced him into a shelter.
We checked radar before we come out. Everything looked nice, and as we were out there, it just started getting really windy, and we decided to dock up somewhere and just check the radar and decided to come in.
So you need to go indoors. Going to a tree to get out of the rain during a thunderstorm or an electrical storm is the wrong answer. A tree will not keep you safe outdoors.
Fire officials suggest planning your shelter areas before getting to your destination in case of a pop-up storm. Augusta Commissioner Jordan Johnson hosted a community meeting at the Hagler Boys and Girls Club tonight. The purpose was to talk about issues in the Harrisburg neighborhood. Hannah McDonald was there.
This meeting gave residents the chance to voice their concerns, ask questions, as well as hear updates about what is going on in their neighborhood. Among the topics discussed was what changes need to happen. Nancy Blanchard has lived in Harrisburg for 7 years and told me this was the most positive meeting she's attended, but she still has concerns.
The blight, because I just feel like that when you have a clean community, you have a productive community. I'm excited about the things that we can accomplish. I'm excited that all the different agencies showed up that are working to make Harrisburg a better place.
Mary Pruitt has lived in Harrisburg since 2018. She says she went to the meeting with nothing specific in mind, but was curious to hear her neighbors' concerns.
Being a homeowner, I just wanted to know about, different things like the blight ordinance and things like that changing. What exactly is being done about crime in the area. I know there's been a lot of recent incidents that a lot of people were concerned about.
District 1 Commissioner Jordan Johnson says many of the issues that community members brought up did not catch him by surprise. He tells me the meeting was community driven and wants to hold more in the future.
We get an opportunity to engage the community in ways that they wouldn't otherwise be engaged. But it's going to be up to us to really put our boots to the ground to find solutions and to really act on some of the things that folks are asking for. I mean, I told him tonight, there's going to be things that I can't deliver on. It's things that the city won't be able to help him with. But at the end of the day, it's our job to listen, and it's our job to try our best to find solutions. And that's what we're going to commit to doing.
If you have any concerns or questions about what is going on in your community, you can find Johnson's contact information on our website at WJBF.com. In Augusta, Hannah McDonald, WJBF, News Channel 6.
Augusta is looking to take action against the owners of a problem-plagued apartment building. Residents hearing from the owners of the Bonaire apartments and their continuing issues of crime and maintenance. The complex has been the scene of recent shootings. Neighbors are taking their complaints to commissioners, saying they don't feel safe.
I've lived there for 40 years, raised 4 children there, and now I have grandchildren, and I'm afraid to let them go out in the backyards because of gunfire, that they could be accidentally hit with a bullet.
How often do you hear gunfire?
Recently, it's been like every other week or once a week.
Commissioners voting to begin the process next month to take action against the business license of Redwood Housing, the owners of the Bonaire and Richmond Summit. Masters patrons will have more options to fly into the Garden City next year. Delta confirmed it's adding 3 new routes for the 2026 Masters Tournament. Patrons will be able to fly in from Los Angeles, Nashville, and Newark. Airline officials say this will be their largest Augusta schedule to date. Coming up, it's mosquito and tick season. How you can avoid creepy crawlies while enjoying the outdoors. Stay with us.
And the typical summertime pattern for us with the heat and humidity and those daily chances of rain. I'll have a full Viper 6 forecast right after the break.
Is your bathroom
Has to say.
Around.
now your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Welcome back and happy almost Friday. I hope you've had a nice week so far and staying cool and safe with the storms we had last night. It's definitely been an active weather week, but now things are quieting down. And you can see on our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam, there's nothing going on tonight. We're mostly clear and we're sitting at 79 degrees, feeling like 82 as dew points are still high at 70. We have a south breeze coming in at 5 miles per hour. Upper 70s through low 80s at the 10 o'clock hour here, 79 in Aiken, 81 in Washington, Saluda, you're 82, and 78 in Wrightsville. We still have high pressure in control. This is bringing the summertime heat and keeping us mostly dry, but we do have the upper level low that's still generating a few showers and storms, and you can see the moisture here and there on our water vapor loop. Now for tomorrow, it's your hometown Freedom Blast. I'll be there along with Jenny, Brad, Brandon, and Gianna. It's going to be a great day. It's definitely going to be hot though by the time we get out there, in the lower 90s, and then as the night goes on, we'll start to cool down into the mid 70s by the time of the fireworks show. So overall, pretty nice forecast there. There will be some spotty showers and storms around, but there's a good chance that they could end up missing McDuffie County. Here's a look at our futurecast starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, some clouds, and then once we get to around 4 or 5 o'clock, some storms will start to fire up. Any of these storms could end up being strong, but you can see there's really not much coverage expected. We dry out as we go into our Saturday morning, and then same thing on Saturday. Once we get into the late afternoon and evening, some storms will fire up. Once again, all very isolated, just hit or miss. But always remember, if you hear that thunder roar, head indoors, especially because the lightning can strike far away from the parent thunderstorm. Now for your weekend forecast, you can see temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s in the afternoons. We'll have a 30% chance of rain each day, and it will still be very humid, with the heat index around 100 degrees each day moving forward. At the most, we could get up to around 105 as that feels like temperature, but we should stay clear of heat advisories at least over the next several days to come. Now our low temperatures tonight will be around 70 degrees, nice and mild. Highs tomorrow will be between 91 to 93 degrees, near our average of 93. And the 10-day forecast is showing very consistent temperatures as we go into the next several days. Just that 30% chance of rain and storms Friday through Monday. Then as we get into the middle of next week, we'll have a cold front move through, and that'll bring us a bit more cloud cover and some higher rain chances. Also, we'll knock our temperatures down to the lower 90s on Thursday. And for your 4th of July forecast, going with just that 30% chance of rain and a high of 93.
Shaping up very nicely.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Jenna. If you are going on a hike to the lake or to camp this summer, there's a high chance you'll encounter mosquitoes or ticks. The spring and early summer months are the time of year when there is an increased chance of running into these bugs, but a combination of Hurricane Helene, recent rainfall, and humidity have led to an uptick in mosquitoes and ticks. Protection for both insects is similar, but doctors say it's harder to find ticks than mosquitoes because they're so small.
Even though it's hot, wearing long sleeve clothing and boots, closed-toed shoes, socks is the best way to prevent ticks from being able to find an attachment point on your body. If you are out hiking or in wooded areas, take a shower afterwards. So if there is anything on you, you wash it off pretty quickly before it's had a chance to attach.
Doctors also recommend using deep bug spray to protect yourself as well. And if you put on sunscreen to protect your skin, they want you to do the sunscreen first and then the bug spray. Coming up, a Supreme Court decision impacting South Carolinians. We'll have the court's ruling on Planned Parenthood funding next.
At the Access One Center. Get started. Your most watched local news is getting a big plus.
WJBF 6 Plus, built for the way you want.
The CSRA's trusted news source, now on demand. Live by First 6 weather when it matters most. Stream it anytime, anywhere.
Plus, it's totally free. No subscription required.
WJBF 6 Plus is ready when you are. Download it free today on your favorite streaming device.
The U.S. Supreme Court has sided with South Carolina in a long-running battle. The U.S. Supreme Court has sided with South Carolina in a long-running battle over Medicaid funding for Planned Parenthood. Caroline Yaffa tells us what this means for low-income patients across the state.
The U.S. Supreme Court just ruled that people who are on Medicaid in South Carolina will no longer be able to use their coverage at Planned Parenthood, even if it means they're not getting an abortion.
What it does mean is that our patients will no longer be able to come to us for their annual well woman exams, the pap smear, the breast exams.
This goes back to a 2018 order from Governor Henry McMaster, who directed state agencies to remove clinics from the state's Medicaid provider list.
It's not about health care, but it's about abandoning South Carolinians. This will be an equity disaster.
Planned Parenthood sued the state, saying that under federal law, Medicaid recipients have a right to choose any qualified provider. But the High Court disagreed, saying that federal law doesn't give patients the right to sue over provider access. Governor Henry McMaster sent us this statement that reads in part, 7 years ago, we took a stand to protect the sanctity of life and defend South Carolina's authority and values. And today, we are finally victorious.
To get a decision like this, I believe it's well within the constitutional vein to rule this way. I thought the 6 justices articulated their point well. We're feeling good. It's a good victory. Again, ultimately, these are all incremental victories that get accomplished.
Planned Parenthood says as of now, there is no date set in stone as to when this is going into effect. In Columbia, I'm Caroline Yaffa.
One of the biggest local coaching moves of the offseason happened with Grovetown girls basketball. We'll check in on new coach Ebony Fields' progress next in sports.
Get the best insurance rate for your home or auto at Caps Insurance Agency. Come by or call us. Get covered with Caps today.
John Stossel, how you been?
Join News Channel 6 as we honor the CSRA's best in local high school sports, including this year's Athlete of the Year, the All CSRA Awards, this Tuesday at 7 on News Channel 6. Get the latest video in one click at WJBF.com. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
For some high school coaches, summer is all about getting new players adjusted to new surroundings. But for Grovetown girls basketball coach Ebony Fields, it's actually the opposite that's true. That's because Coach Fields is completing her first month of her first summer as at the helm of her new program. Fields was announced in late spring her departure from Butler to take the head job at Grovetown, and since then it's been a bit of a whirlwind process for both her and her players. With the GHSA Dead Week upcoming, the coach is looking forward to some R&R, but that does not mean she's not enjoying this process.
It's been exciting. The kids, they embrace us. The coaching staff, the admin, the school, everyone that I've encountered or met, they've embraced us with open arms. The kids, they've been working hard this summer for this month of June that we've been together. They accepted my expectations, and they've been adhering to those expectations and just doing well.
Now, Coach Fields and Grovetown will play a pair of games in the house that Don Staley built, Colonial Life Arena. They're going to do that tomorrow, home of the Lady Gamecocks, so awesome opportunity for them. Let's shift gears now to the boys of summer on the diamond. Can the Augusta Green Jackets finally get a dub against Fayetteville? Douglas Glod's bat tried to do its part. He homers the right center in the top second, ties the score 1-1, but the Woodpeckers played a single run in the third, fourth, and fifth innings each. Augusta tried to spark a rally in the eighth. Nick Montgomery's sac fly scored Colby Jones, but it wasn't enough. Jackets fall again to Fayetteville 4-3. The New York Mets and Atlanta Braves tangle one more time in New York City, and it was a tough night for the Braves bats. Pitchers duel until the fourth inning with the Mets plating a run, and then another in the fifth, broke it open with 2 in the bottom of the seventh. Braves could only muster 2 hits, and they fall 4-0. Now on the PGA Tour scene, the Rocket Classic at the Detroit Golf Club in Detroit, Michigan is underway. First round action began this morning with an early 6:45 a.m. tee time. Colin Morikawa, he comes in as a favorite, playing like it early with the drive here. He shot 3 under today, which, believe it or not, isn't even close to good enough for the lead. American Kevin Roy shot a blistering 10 under first round, with Minwoo Lee 1 stroke behind at 9 under, and then 20-year-old South African rookie Aldrich Potgieter is tied with Roy for the lead. And last but certainly not least, I want you to set your TVs to turn on at 9 a.m. this Saturday, right here on News Channel 6 for the All CSRA Awards Show. The hour-long show will showcase our recognition of the best athletes the CSRA had to offer during the 2024-25 sports calendar, hosted by yours truly, as well as our sports director, Gianna Cephalou. This year, it's not just football. We're highlighting all our areas' top athletes from all sports. So just in case you missed it on Saturday, it'll also re-air on Tuesday, July 1st at 7 p.m. That's it for sports. Jenny, I'll send it back to you.
Coming up, for the love of golf, how a Michigan man is showing that golf is a lifetime sport after the break.
The death of a loved one.
Ronnie Blade here with Queen City Home Store. Beat the tariffs and rising prices during our blockbuster Independence Day sale. Save up to 60% on Frigidaire gallery appliances and get rebates up to $19.50. Plus, buy select Frigidaire gallery packages and the dishwashers free. And save up to $1,000 on the Electrolux laundry pairs with prices starting at just $6.98 each. With 12 months interest-free financing, express delivery, and a price match guarantee, why shop anywhere else? New stores now open throughout the Carolinas. Find us at QueenCityOnline.com.
It's bow time. The CSRA is full of amazing women. Women who inspire. Women who innovate. Women who lead. That's why News Channel 6 brings you Women to Watch.
On the last Wednesday of each month, News Channel 6 recognizes local businesswomen who are making a positive impact in our community.
Nominate someone today at WJBF.com. Sponsored by Goodwill. Over the years, thousands of people have gotten their hands on one. And who knows, you could be next. Win your very own Good Morning Augusta coffee mug at WJBF.com/coffee club. Sponsored by Honda Cars of Aiken.
And last but not least, only a few golfers can shoot their age, and even fewer can do that at 95.
A Michigan man is proof you can play the sport your whole life.
Alec Giannakopoulos has the story.
At a golf course, the goal is simple. The lower the number on your score sheet, the better. But there's a number we can't make smaller, no matter how hard we try. Age.
He's an old Dutchman.
But, like your score, age is just a number. And numbers won't get in the way of Bernard van der Eist.
Nobody looks at him at his age because we just look at him as his ability. He just keeps going.
Bert will turn 96 in July, and 3 days a week, you can find him at Glen Eagle Golf Club.
I just take the club and hit the ball. If I can, and that's about it.
He may be underselling it a little bit. At 95, Bert is a 13 handicap.
I'm getting worse.
Whether that's true or not, a low score isn't what draws him to the course.
Come on, Stokey. That a boy. You know, when you get old like that, you lose all your friends. My friends, they're all dead. They're all dead. And then when you go golf, you know, with a bunch of guys, you got all new friends.
An immigrant from the Netherlands after World War II, Bert has lived long enough to see an impressive family tree. He has 12 grandchildren, 20 great-grandkids, and 10 great-great-grandchildren. But out of all of them, it's these guys he sees the most.
I go to church on Sunday, but I see them only once a week. These guys I see 3 times a week.
There are some downsides to living to 96.
Oh, everything sucks.
For Bert, reaching 96 just means another year playing the game he loves with people he loves.
But anyway, I'm still having a lot of fun, and they put up with me.
That's something you can't put on a scorecard.
I need to get Bert's info because, you know, my mother is 92 and she is really with it. and really active. I need to get Bert and Nana together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, can you believe 96? He really looks 76.
Oh,
to
he
me.
looks fantastic. Yeah.
I aspire to have that wit when I get that old, if I get that old.
Certainly.
Yeah, he's funny. Our 10-day forecast is showing just a slight chance of rain and storms as we head into the weekend with our high temperatures around 93 to 94 degrees. Next week looks very similar, just slightly higher rain chances Tuesday through Thursday. That'll be followed by the 4th of July, where we're back to a 30% chance.
The news continues at the top of the hour on News Channel 6 at 11.
And Hogan's Heroes is next here on MeTV.
Have a good night.